With the presidential election getting over not too long ago, and Barack Obama making history, it's nice to look back over the years and see how interesting and influential the past presidents have been. To me, Thomas Jefferson is such an interesting president to read about because he accomplished so many things in his lifetime. So let me tell you about the interesting facts about Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson was born on April 13, 1743, in Shadwell, or was now known as Albemarle County, Virginia. Not much is known about Jefferson's childhood, but in his later years, he went to study law at the College of William and Mary in 1760 to 1762. Later, in 1769, he began his 6 years of service as a representative in the Virginia House of Burgesses. The year after that, he began building Monticello, which is the mansion he built on the land inherited from his father. Jefferson designed everything in the mansion, and it took years to complete. He had only finished a part of the mansion when he married Martha Wells Skelton in 1772. Thomas and Martha had 6 children, however only 2 survived into adulthood. Jefferson's reputation grew and began to reach beyond Virginia in 1774 when he wrote a political pamphlet titled A Summary View of the Rights of British America. The pamphlet argued the basis of the natural rights theory. Jefferson was elected to the Second Continental Congress meeting in Philadelphia and was appointed in 1776 to head a committee of 5 people to prepare the Declaration of Independence. He was the Declaration's main author. He had to rewrite it many times after Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, and Congress disagreed on much of the wording. The Declaration of Independence has a lot in common with his pamphlet, A Summary View of the Rights of British America. And just like the pamphlet, the Declaration made him internationally famous. Jefferson said later about the Declaration that it was intended to be an expression of the American mind. Jefferson returned back to Virginia in 1776 when the state's new constitution established a General Assembly of Virginia. And the General Assembly was the House of Delegates, where Jefferson served until 1779. While he was in the House of Delegates, the American Revolution went on, and Jefferson tried to pass bills that he thought was necessary. Bills such as to create a public library, create a free system of tax-supported elementary education for all except slaves, and to modernize the curriculum of the College of William and Mary, where he was once a student. However, all of these bills were shot down by Congress and were never passed. After serving in the House of Delegates, Jefferson was elected governor of Virginia and retired after 2 years in office. In 1782, his wife passed away, and the following year he was seated back into Congress. According to Ronald Granham from ARH, when he was in Congress, he submitted papers about money and coinage units for the U.S. and advised the use of a decimal system. This led to the adoption of the dollar, instead of the pound as money in the United States. While also in Congress, he proposed an ordinance that slavery should be excluded from all the American Western territories after 1800. Congress approved of the ordinance in 1784, however, they never put it into effect. But just 3 years later, the ordinance of 1787 was put into effect that slavery was prohibited in the Northwest Territory. Another thing that people don't usually hear about Jefferson is the claim that he fathered children with a woman named Sally Hemings, one of his slaves at his Monticello mansion. According to primary accounts in the Monticello Mansion logbook, she lived with Jefferson and 2 of his daughters from 1787 to 1789, and she had at least 6 children. The accusations first came out during his first year as president and still have never been verified, but they are the facts. The light-skinned resemblance of several of Sally's children to Jefferson were noticed by a good number of those who were present at Monticello. Sally Hemings had 4 surviving children, Beverly, Harriet, Madison, and Eston. Both Madison and Eston Hemings made it known that they believed that they were the sons of Thomas Jefferson by changing their last name to Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson also freed all of Sally Hemings' children in his will, but these accusations have still never been verified. When George Washington decided not to run for a 3rd term in 1796, Jefferson became a presidential candidate of the Democratic-Republican Party. However, his opponent, John Adams, took the electoral vote, winning the presidency, and Jefferson, as a runner-up, became the vice president. In the 1800 presidential election, Jefferson again ran for president along with Aaron Burr. They had a tie because they had the same number of electoral votes. The decision went to the House of Representatives, and they chose Jefferson as the 3rd president. In 1803, he made the Louisiana Purchase, which doubled the land size of the U.S., and he also authorized the Lewis and Clark Expedition. Jefferson ran again for a 2nd term and remained president for another 4 years. In his 2nd term, he oversaw the important court case Marbury v. Madison, which set up the Supreme Court's power to rule federal acts unconstitutional. According to Martin Kelly, at the end of his 2nd term, France and Britain were at war, and American trade ships were often being targeted. When the British boarded the American ship Chesapeake, they forced 3 soldiers to work on their vessel and killed 1 for treason. Because of the incident at Chesapeake, Jefferson passed the Embargo Act. This stopped America from exporting and importing foreign goods. Jefferson thought this would have the effect of hurting the trade in France and Britain. However, it had the opposite effect, hurting American trade. Jefferson's last great public service was founded at the University of Virginia in 1819. He died at Monticello on July 4, 1826, on the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence.